10 Disturbing Cases of Neighbors from Hell. Welcome to Creepshow. Here, we uncover stories that reveal the darker side of human nature, from spine-chilling mysteries to real-life horror tales. Today, we're diving into the unsettling world of neighborly feuds that turned into nightmares. These are the stories of neighbors from hell, people who made living next door a waking horror. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content that keeps you looking over your shoulder. Now, let's dive into 10 harrowing tales of nightmare neighbors. Number 10. Helen Staudinger, a kiss that triggered a shooting. In Fort McCoy, Florida, 92-year-old widow Helen Staudinger lived a quiet life until her fascination with her 53-year-old neighbor, Dwight Bettner, spiraled out of control. Their story began innocently enough when Bettner helped Staudinger fix her stove shortly after moving next door in 2010. A simple kiss on the cheek as thanks seemed harmless to Bettner, but it meant much more to Staudinger. Her fondness for him quickly turned obsessive. Staudinger would drop by uninvited, often offering to cook for Bettner or take him out for dinner. When she discovered he had a girlfriend, her envy boiled over. In one incident, she even tried to attack the woman. The tension reached a breaking point in March 2011. Staudinger visited Bettner's house and demanded a kiss. When he refused, she stormed back home, retrieved a pistol, and fired several shots into Bettner's house. Miraculously, no one was hurt, but the incident shocked the community. Staudinger denied the kiss was her motive, claiming she was angry about unpaid debts. Regardless, she was arrested and charged with aggravated assault, leaving Bettner shaken and determined to keep his distance. Number 9. Phillip Rodger Bennett, The Lawn Wars. In Bartow County, Georgia, Phillip Rodger Bennett's obsession with lawn maintenance turned into a nightmare for his neighbor, Marty Corbett. Bennett, a 58-year-old meticulous landscaper, believed Corbett's untended yard was an insult to their neighborhood's appearance. Initially, Bennett tried to be helpful, offering to mow Corbett's lawn. But Corbett refused, setting off a series of heated disputes. Bennett's frustrations escalated to violent threats and property confrontations. In May 2013, Bennett reached his breaking point. After another argument, he returned to Corbett's home with gas cans, broke a window, and set the house on fire. Corbett narrowly escaped with his young daughter as the flames consumed their home. Bennett fled but was captured the following day, suffering burns from his own arson. Charged with multiple felonies, including arson and cruelty to children, Bennett's obsession with appearances destroyed not just a house, but the peace of an entire neighborhood. Number 8. Irsie Henry, The Policeman, Terrorizing His Block. Living near a law enforcement officer often feels like an added layer of safety, but for the residents of an Altadena, California, neighborhood, LAPD officer Irsie Henry was their worst nightmare. Moving into the area in 2001, Henry quickly became entangled in a property dispute with his neighbor, John Hamilton. What began as an argument over a shared fence devolved into relentless harassment. Henry insulted Hamilton's family, made inappropriate gestures toward his children, and even accused a teenage son of theft. He retaliated by pelting eggs, blowing leaves into their yard, and flinging cigarette butts onto their property. Despite being fired by the LAPD after numerous complaints, Henry's behavior worsened. In one incident, he was caught vandalizing Hamilton's property and received a contempt of court conviction. Eventually, after years of relentless disputes and legal battles, Henry moved away, but the scars of his harassment lingered. Number 7. Debra Kincy, The Deadly Friendship. In Florida, 63-year-old Debra Kincy seemed to have a close friendship with her neighbor, Charlotte Nicholas. But beneath the surface of this relationship lay tension and distrust. Nicholas often referred to Kincy as the crazy woman next door, voicing fears about her erratic behavior. In October 2015, these fears turned tragically real. Nicholas was found stabbed to death in her home, with over 70 wounds inflicted in a frenzied attack. The weapon, a broken knife, was still lodged in her body. Suspicion quickly fell on Kincy when police discovered she had pawned Nicholas's jewelry the same day as the murder. Confronted with evidence, Kincy claimed she couldn't remember much of the day, blaming blackouts. Arrested and charged with murder, Kincy became a chilling reminder of how close danger can reside. Number 6. Melanie Smith. Arson and Accusations. In a North Wales apartment building, 43-year-old Melanie Smith's grievances with her young neighbor, Lee Anna Shires, escalated into unthinkable violence. Smith, an unstable alcoholic, accused Shires of being noisy, leaving cigarette butts around, and cluttering their shared entranceway with a baby stroller. Believing Shires was responsible for her failing relationship with her boyfriend, Smith's resentment reached a boiling point in October 2012. Fueled by alcohol and rage, Smith set fire to the stroller in the entranceway, sparking a deadly blaze. Shires, her partner, their infant son, and 2 young relatives perished in the fire. Arrested and convicted of murder, Smith was sentenced to life in prison, her actions forever scarring the community. Number 5. John Kenney. The Easement Feud. In Carmel Valley, California, John Kenney's disagreement with his neighbors, Mel and Elizabeth Grimes, over a small easement turned deadly. Kenney, who had once been friendly with the Grimeses, began accusing them of bizarre offenses, including vandalizing his property and poisoning his pets. After years of disputes and escalating hostilities, the conflict culminated in January 2007 when Kenney blocked their carport access with a boulder. When the Grimeses attempted to remove the obstruction, Kenney confronted them with a gun and shot them both. Convicted of murder, Kenney was sentenced to life in prison, leaving behind a tragic reminder of how small disputes can lead to catastrophic consequences. Number 4. Angela Stoldt, the neighbor-turned-killer. In Florida, 42-year-old Angela Stoldt's financial disagreements with her neighbor, James Schieffer, ended in a grisly murder. After an argument over a shared bank account, Stoldt laced Schieffer's drink with muscle relaxers and vodka, then drove him to a cemetery where she stabbed him during a heated confrontation. To dispose of his body, Stoldt resorted to shocking methods, including dismembering and attempting to cook the remains. Ultimately caught after confessing to her sister, Stoldt was sentenced to life in prison. Number 3. Billy Woodward, the neighborhood shootout. A petty feud between the Woodward and Henry families in Titusville, Florida, spiraled out of control in 2012. What began as a dispute over a stolen birthday gift ended in tragedy when Billy Woodward, fed up with taunts from his neighbors, opened fire during a barbecue. Killing 2 and injuring 1, Woodward claimed self-defense, invoking Florida's Stand Your Ground law. Despite his claims, he was charged with murder, highlighting the deadly consequences of unresolved disputes. Number 2. Richard Uffelman, the Maine feud. In Machiasport, Maine, Richard Uffelman's paranoia turned him against his neighbors, Michael and Florence Phillips. Convinced they were harassing him, Uffelman shot the couple as they walked past his home, finishing them off at point-blank range. Captured on the Phillipses' security camera, Uffelman was convicted of murder and sentenced to life, his actions shocking the small coastal town. Number 1. Roland Younce, the Pit Bull Incident. In Caldwell County, North Carolina, a feud between Roland Younce and his neighbor Tony Moore over Younce's roaming pit bull turned deadly. After Moore shot the dog, Younce retaliated by opening fire on Moore and his young daughters. In the ensuing standoff with police, Younce was fatally shot, ending a tragic chapter in a neighborhood terrorized by his actions. These stories remind us that even the people living closest to us can sometimes become our worst nightmares. If you found this video compelling, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Creepshow for more unsettling tales. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.